A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to this Sunday's edition of Primetime News coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
Sirasa Namami marks the Navam full moon Poya Day at the historic Sri Sankapala Rajamahaviharaya with the participation of thousands of devotees. The iconic cultural pageant of Colombo, the Hunupitiya Gangaramaya Navam Maha Perhara, parades the streets for the second day. Development officers issue a stern warning to the president, says if there is no solution, they will abandon school duties to study for exams. Vimal advises development officers on hunger strike, demands teacher appointments be granted without examination hurdles. India allocates a donation of 4 billion Indian rupees to Sri Lanka in its latest budget. Consignment of 10 Bailey bridges to restore connectivity in disaster-affected areas. Will the SJB and SLPP unite? Contradictory statements from Anand Palita and Kabir Hashim.
Deal done last year.
Shiranti summoned to FCID the day after tomorrow. Namal summoned by the CID.
Now the stories in detail. The protest launched by a group of development officers demanding to be absorbed into the teaching service without sitting the teacher recruitment examination entered its 7th day today. Secretary of the All Island School Development Officers Association, Viraj Manaranga, said that if discussions with the president fail, he will withdraw from school duties, apply for leave and sit for the teacher recruitment examination himself.
The group of development officers began their protest opposite the presidential secretariat a week ago. As their strike demanding teacher appointments without sitting for competitive examinations enters its 7th day, opposition representatives have continued to visit and express solidarity with the protesters. Yesterday, the leader of the opposition said that after he becomes president, he would ensure development officers are absorbed into the teaching service without a competitive exam. These graduates were initially given irregular appointments during the government of former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Vimal Veeravansa, who served as Minister of Industries at the time, also visited the protest site today.
මේකට හරියාකාර උත්තරයක් දුන්නේ නැතුනොත් අපේ සියලුම ගුරු සම්වර්ධන නිලධාරීන් සමස්ත ලංකාවේම පාසල් අධ්‍යයන කටයුතු වලින් ඉවත්. මෙයාලා කියන්නේ පාඩම් කරන්න ගියා. අපි ඉවත් වෙලා පාඩම් කරනවා. විභාගයට පාඩම් කරනවා. ගුරුන්ට දෙගුරු ඵලයට එන්න කලින් පුරුදු ගන්නේ විභාගයක් නොතිය අන්තර්ග්‍රහණය කරන වීඩියෝ පෙන්ඩියන්ස් තියෙනවා.
The Ministry of Health and Mass Media is seeking to intervene to resolve issues faced by children of government medical officers when enrolling in schools. The steps taken in this regard were announced in a statement issued by the Department of Government Information today.
Government medical officers who encounter difficulties during school admissions have been requested to formally notify the Ministry of Health and Mass Media so that necessary action can be taken in that regard. Complaints and relevant details should be communicated to Eranga Jayawardena, Director at the Ministry, via telephone on 011 267 5011 and extension on 173. The Ministry encourages affected medical officers to come forward promptly to facilitate timely resolution of these matters.
The 13th budget of the Narendra Modi administration was presented to the Parliament of India this morning. Now, this marks the 9th budget presented by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Notably, the budget includes an allocation of 4 billion Indian rupees for Sri Lanka.
Framed under the theme of a self-reliant India, the proposal focuses on three strategic pillars: accelerating economic growth to withstand global instability, engaging citizens as partners in national prosperity, ensuring equitable distribution of resources across every region and family. A significant highlight of this budget is the reduction of tax rates paid by the middle class to the government. This also marks the first time in Indian history that a budget has been presented on a Sunday. Special attention has been focused on job creation, the manufacturing sector and modern technology in the march toward a Viksit Bharat, or a developed India. A notable feature for the middle class is the provision of tax relief, exempting individuals with an annual income of up to 700,000 rupees from income tax. Furthermore, the short-term loan limit for 77 million for farmers, fishermen and dairy farmers has been increased to 500,000 rupees. The budget also proposes a total exemption of import duties on 36 types of life-saving medicines and provides tax concessions for raw materials used in the production of lithium batteries for mobile phones and electric vehicles. Other key proposals include the construction of new high-speed rail lines connecting financial and technical hubs and the establishment of an AI center for the education sector. India, the world's second largest gold buyer, has also proposed reducing the import duty on gold and silver to 6%. Additionally, the tax rate for foreign companies has been reduced to 35%.
How much aid has India allocated to Sri Lanka in its budget?
Under the Financial Assistance Programme for neighbouring countries, this budget has allocated 4 billion Indian rupees for Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, 20.68 billion Indian rupees have been allocated for Bhutan, 7 billion for Nepal and 4 billion for the Maldives.
India has dispatched a consignment of 10 Bailey bridges to Sri Lanka to help rebuild structures damaged by Cyclone Ditwa. Indian External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Randir Jaiswal announced on X that the shipment sent from Visakhapatnam to Colombo is part of India's $450 million economic assistance package for Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, the Hanguranketa-Kohumbagana bridge, which was destroyed by the cyclone, has been restored and inaugurated. Located on the Badula Road via Randenigala in Kandy, the bridge was rebuilt with Indian assistance. The inauguration was attended by the Indian Deputy High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Dr. Satyanjal Pandey, along with local officials and community members.
Newsfirst with the people.
National organizer of the Sri Lanka Podujana Perabuna, Rajapaksa, said in a media briefing yesterday that a political decision should be made on whether to support leader of the Samagi Janabalawegya Sajith Premadasa in the next presidential election. Several political parties responded to his statement today.
These are the remarks made by Namal Rajapaksa following his visits to several temples in Matara yesterday, where he also interacted with the temple residents.
As the opposition, it is our responsibility to hold the government accountable and exert pressure whenever necessary. This is the key duty of the opposition leader.
This is the response to Namal Rajapaksa's statement at a media briefing held today by the Samagi Joint Trade Union Alliance.
Namal Rajapaksa කියනවා මීළඟ ජනාධිපති ප්‍රතිවරණයේදී එකතු වෙලා වැඩ කරන්න අවස්ථාවක් ආවොත් සජරෙක් එකතු වෙලා බලමු කියලා වැඩ කරමු කියලා. එතකොට ජනාධිපති නාමල්ද අගමැතිද සජිත්ද?
ජනපති නාමල්ද සජිත්ද කියන එක.
The people should decide whether it is President Namal or Sajith. Before considering alliances like the UNP, SLFP, SLPP or SJB, parties should focus on the issues that matter to the public. Leaders who are genuinely committed will step forward. The people's strength should guide these decisions. Even today, the opposition is not properly positioned to lead effectively.
අදත් විපක්ෂයේ නිවැරදිව පෙනී හිටින්නේ නැහැ.
ඒ කියන්නේ සජිත් මහත්තයා නාමල් මහත්තයා මුකුත්ම කරන්නේ නැහැ කියලා ඔබතුමා කියන්නේ.
කරනවා කියන එක නෙමෙයි.
It's not that they are doing nothing. Even when Namal or Shiranti faces challenges, they travel the country, sometimes even to remote areas like Tambutegama to raise their demands. We too must raise our voices strongly and in a popular manner. There is no point in saying that the UNP and the SJB are ready to unite and that we are not afraid of anything. Even during the time we worked together, we lost. However, that does not mean I am against us uniting.
අපි එකතු වෙච්ච කාලේ පරාදයි. මම එකතු වෙනට විරුද්ධ නෙමෙයි.
When inquired if the Samagi Jana Balabegya is willing to collaborate with the Sri Lanka Pothu Jana Peramuna in future elections, SJB General Secretary Kabir Hashim said the party is not ready to make any such agreement.
The SJB has not decided to join all political parties. So far, we are only exploring an alliance with the UNP. We will align with parties that match our policies and program. Otherwise, we will not. At a time of renewing our ideology, thinking, organization and structure, we have not decided to join everyone at once. We haven't even decided on an alliance like that yet. Our plan is to present Sajith Premadasa as our presidential candidate. We are not ready to make any broader deals beyond that.
Shiranti Rajapaksa, the wife of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, has been summoned once again to the Police Financial Crimes Investigation Division, or the FCID, on the 3rd of February. Member of Parliament Namal Rajapaksa has also been summoned to the Criminal Investigation Department on the same day.
Shiranti Rajapaksa, the wife of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, has been re-summoned to appear before the FCID at 9:30 a.m. the day after tomorrow. Although she was previously summoned to appear on the 27th of February, Rajapaksa requested a 2-week period of time. These summons are related to recording a statement regarding ongoing investigations into financial irregularities involving an account maintained under the name Sirasa. An investigation was launched under the Government of Good Governance regarding financial irregularities in an account maintained under the name Sirasa during the tenure of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The Sirasa Savia account had been opened in the Suduvalla branch of a state bank as a joint account involving Shiranti Rajapaksa and 2 others. In the information provided to open the account, the address for all 3 individuals was listed as Carlton, Tangol. Shiranti Rajapaksa's national identity card number was recorded as 2222222B. Typically, the first 2 digits of old NIC numbers were maintained as per the year of birth. Therefore, the existence of such an NIC number is highly unusual. At the time, the side representing Shiranti Rajapaksa stated that the number mentioned was her passport number. Regarding the allegation that a fake ID number was used for this account, they claimed it appeared to be a mistake made during the entering of data into the bank's computer system. Numerous suspicious transactions had taken place through this account, leading to the commencement of investigations during the Government of Good Governance. Although Shiranti Rajapaksa was summoned to the Police Financial Crimes Investigation Division on the 1st of June 2015, she did not appear on that day. Police later stated that a statement was recorded from her at the official residence of the then Speaker Chamal Rajapaksa. Meanwhile, serious allegations were also made to the Sirasa Savia account in connection with the investigation into the murder of rugby player Wasim Tajuddin. On the 20th of September 2018, the Criminal Investigation Department reported to the court that a Defender vehicle bearing the plate number WPKA0642 belonging to the Sirasa Savia Foundation had been used in the abduction of Wasim Tajuddin. Meanwhile, Member of Parliament Namal Rajapaksa has also been summoned to the CID on the 3rd of February. He was originally summoned on the 26th of January, but he was on an official visit to India at the time. Parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa had requested a 1-week period to appear before the CID.
Meanwhile, Namal Rajapaksa, the national organizer of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, expressed the following views during a public meeting held in Kirinda.
Those who spend money to create lies about us and slander us are today trying to use the police and the judiciary to prove their falsehoods. They lied for money, but today the government is attempting to use public funds, the police and the judiciary to prove that the lies they spread for money are the truth. If the government thinks that by bringing us or by bringing my mother and father to the CID, they can cover up the coal scam, that will not happen. If the government thinks that because we are brought before the CID, we will be intimidated and stop questioning the 323 missing containers, that will not happen either. Also, if the government thinks they can throw us in jail and cover up the 2 containers of narcotics that was smuggled out of the port, we won't let that happen. If the government thinks they can throw us in prison cells and use that to bury the promises they gave to the people and the lies they told, the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna will not allow that. We will not allow it.
Meanwhile, speaking on how state sector employees were recruited in the past, New Democratic Front MP Shamra Sampath Dasanayake addressed Sri Lanka Freedom Party supporters in Kuliyapitiya.
In our time, we gave 50,000 jobs to graduates as agriculture instructors and Samruddhi officers under Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga. After that, the first batch of development officer appointments, about 98, was also given by Madam Chandrika's government. Then, they gave 60,000 development officer appointments. After that, Mahinda Rajapaksa gave jobs. Then Gotabaya also gave jobs even just recently. After that, towards the end, another 50,000 were given under the program which gave 100,000 jobs to the people. After giving all these, our government finally collapsed. At that time, Mahinda Rajapaksa used to say, even if someone in Badula just bumps into another person somewhere, Nimal Siripala will get them into a hospital in Badula. As far as I know, Atula Vijayasinghe got more than 5,000 people recruited in this district into education, health and other sectors during his time as Chief Minister. Out of the 1.6 million public servants today, about 1.2 million are from governments formed by this Sri Lanka Freedom Party that we are talking about now. Today, they don't even give one job. And now, those development officers we appointed are going on strikes, being given saline drips. 3 people have already been taken to the National Hospital. I was the Chief Minister for 4 years. If I explain the way we made appointments, they'll put me in jail again. If I tell what I've done now, even the courts won't be enough for me. They'll keep filing cases. They've already filed 4 cases against me. 1 has received indictments just the other day. 2 more are still there, and those will also get indictments. Then there will be 3 indictments. 1 case in Badula is under public property law that's being heard separately. So altogether there are 4 cases.
Sri Lanka's vehicle import bill for 2025 has crossed the USD $2 billion mark. Latest central bank data shows a significant surge in expenditure driven largely by personal vehicle arrivals.
Expenditure on vehicle imports, including both private and commercial categories, was recorded at $301 million during December 2025 alone. According to the latest report by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the total expenditure on vehicle imports throughout the year 2025 reaches $2,047 million. Central bank data further indicates that a substantial cost of $1.6 billion was incurred solely for the import of personal motor vehicles in the year 2025.
For the first time in Sri Lanka, visitors can witness lifelike wax portraits of some of the world's most celebrated figures brought to life through an extraordinary Sri Lankan artistic vision. The Colombo Wax Museum, now officially open, invites everyone to explore this unique fusion of art, culture and realism. Newsfirst Hashini Patrana brings you everything you need to know about the latest hotspot in Colombo.
Colombo. That is the Wax Museum, Colombo. Located at the Arcade Independence Square, this Wax Museum Colombo is going to give you an international experience for just a very reasonable price. So let's go inside and see what the Wax Museum Colombo has to offer and what the experience is going to be like.
Upon entering the Colombo Wax Museum, visitors are first greeted by lifelike wax figures of Sri Lanka's most celebrated musicians. They include veteran musicians such as Victor Ratnayaka, Sunilari Ratna, Rohan Veerasinghe and many more. Dedicated sections also honor the nation's finest stage and theatre artists, showcasing the depth of Sri Lankan performing arts. Beyond local talent, the museum features an impressive collection of wax figures representing world leaders, scientists and innovators, offering a truly global experience. Music lovers will be thrilled to see wax replicas of some of the greatest names in international music.
Is your favorite musician Michael Jackson or Bob Marley or Elvis Presley or anyone? If you come to Wax Museum Colombo, you can not only meet just one of them, but all of them. From the old era to the modern era, all your favorite musicians are right here at the Wax Museum Colombo.
Colombo Wax Museum would be that place that could bring you one step closer to your favorite footballer or even your favorite cricketer, be it Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo or even Muthaiya Muralidharan. Step into the Hollywood section of the museum and you might feel as if you've been transported straight into Tinseltown, surrounded by some of the world's most celebrated movie stars.
நான் ஒரு தடவை சொன்னா 100 தடவை சொன்ன மாதிரி. Museum Colombo is a dream coming true of a father-son duo, and I have with me the son of this creation, Mr. Mahima Herath. While I'll remind your father, Mr. Atula Herath, the creator of all of these wax figures and the museum itself, the creators of Madame Tussauds wanted, they could have just come to Sri Lanka and established another Madame Tussauds museum in Sri Lanka, but this is a dream. This is a creation of a Sri Lankan himself, a Sri Lankan family. How do you feel about the heritage of Sri Lanka coming into a play by providing an international experience to whoever who comes to witness the Wax Museum?
I think as Sri Lankans, we have very talented genes. We have very talented people. We have people who are capable of doing amazing stuff. I think this is also a kind of a nice example for that. As I said before as well, we also always wanted to present our wax statues in a good manner, present it properly, such as what they have done in Madame Tussauds and other wax museums. So yeah, it's if you want to visit Madame Tussauds, Singapore is the closest place to Sri Lanka. That's very expensive. You have to travel there, you have to book a ticket there. Sometimes you can't even get tickets or the passes for the visits. You have to wait for some time to get tickets. But without going to Singapore or Bangkok or any other countries, you can just come to Colombo Wax Museum, just buy a ticket from here. And you can take selfies and take videos with all the Hollywood and Bollywood characters. At the same time, our legends, Sri Lankan cinema, Sri Lankan music legends as well.
Yes. Now, before we wrap up, Mahima, can you also tell what kind of a boost does the Wax Museum Colombo add to the tourism sector of
Definitely.
Sri Lanka?
In this year, we are trying to depend on tourism most of the time, because of our economy in our country. So we are expecting more tourists here, and as Colombo Wax Museum, we are trying to contribute it to the industry by acknowledging the international tourists about our arts, our art forms. For example, if you go to Stage Drama Zone, you can see what kind of arts, what kind of dramas that we had, And like if you go to like some places in the museum, like you can feel and you can drum, like you can try out some of the drums, like Sri Lankan drums and stuff like that. So while you are like exploring Hollywood and Bollywood characters, you can see who our artists are. Like actually, like foreigners can see who our artists are, and like they also can have kind of understanding about how we have started our cinema, how we have started our music industry, and like how it has been evolved.
And if you want to be one step closer to your favorite artist, musician, or even politician, Wax Museum Colombo is now open for you to come and visit, take your pictures, take your videos, you know, talk to them if you want, and let the world know that Sri Lankans are also very talented in creating these wax figures, and Sri Lanka has one of its own wax museums now in Colombo. For tourists, both local and international, if you are traveling across Colombo, the Wax Museum Colombo is the latest addition to your bucket list. Located at the Arcade Independence Square, the Wax Museum Colombo is going to give you an international experience curated to our Lankan taste. So if you are going to travel across Colombo, this is our invite for you to come and visit the Wax Museum Colombo right here at the Arcade Independence Square.
The great cultural festival of Colombo, the Nava Mahaperahara of the Hunupitiya Gangarama temple in Colombo, is currently parading the streets for the second day today. Joining us with the details now is Newsfirst Steven Machado.
Today marks the final day of the Gangarama Nava Mahaperahara, a vibrant cultural event in Sri Lanka that showcases the traditions rooted in our history. This annual procession brings together devotees, locals and tourists from all around the world, gathered at one place to celebrate culture, heritage and religious devotion in the heart of Colombo.
It's the full moon Poi Day, a day on which many significant events took place, including the appointment of Sariputta and Moggallana Maharahatheras as the two chief disciples of Lord Buddha. To commemorate this occasion, the Sirasa Namami Poi Day program was held today at the historic Sri Sankapala Rajamahaviharya in Pallebedda.
Today, the Sirasa Namami Poi Day program was held at the historic Sri Sankapala Rajamahaviharya in Ambilipitiya with the participation of a large gathering of devotees. The program commenced following the Sambuddha Puja and the observance of the 8 precepts. The Sambuddha Puja and the administering of the 8 precepts were conducted by the chief custodian of the historic Sri Sankapala Rajamahaviharya, Venerable Kokavila Kosala Thero. During the Vihara Asana program, a discussion was held on the historical background and significance of the Sri Sankapala Purana Rajamahaviharya. The discussion featured the participation of Venerable Vattagedara Revata Thero, Venerable Kokavila Kosala Thero and historian Madhava Vishwanath. Thereafter, the Sirasa Damsara program was conducted by Venerable Balangoda Radha Thero. Venerable Vatrakumbure Dhammaratana Thero, Chief Prelate of the Kuragala Rajamahaviharya, conducted a discussion on the preservation and continuity of the Sambuddha Sasana. Under the guidance of Venerable Atkandavila Satta Jiva Thero, the Pansil Malo program was broadcast live today from the historic Sankapala Rajamahaviharya. With the aim of educating devotees on the Abhidhamma explanation program was also broadcast today, led by Venerable Vattagoda Maggavihari Thero. The Satpiyama program was also broadcast today from the sacred grounds, presided over by Venerable Dimbulvela Aryadhamma Thero, Dr. Chaminda Veera Sirivardhana and physician Samadhi Shashikala. At the historic Sri Sankapala Rajamahaviharya, a board displaying the temple's historic background and significance in 3 languages was unveiled under the guidance of the temple custodian, Venerable Kokavila Kosala Thero, and Shivan Daniel, Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Group.
This
is the historic Sri Sankapala Rajamahaviharya in Pallebedda. People now have access to this information. Previously, visitors from abroad had no proper way to fully understand the details. But now seeing this board, they can read and understand the value of this historic site we have come to visit. I truly appreciate this effort and the service it provides to the temple.
මේ කරපු කාර්යයත් විහාරස්ථානවලට කරන සේවයත් මම අගයකට සලකනවා.
The Thurunusita program organized for the youth of the country was conducted by Venerable Katnorwe Siridhamma Thero. During the event, a pledge was presented to Venerable Katnorwe Siridhamma Thero by Shivan Daniel, the leader of the Gammatha movement, promising a solution to the severe water shortage affecting the Nikavaratiya Ganevava village where the Thero resides.
Venerable Katnorwe Thera did not ask for anything personally. This is for the people of his village to meet their needs for clean water. Out of respect for his noble request and due to the deep affectionate relationship between us, we are taking immediate steps to fulfill this promise. Therefore, within a few months, we pledge to provide this village with clean drinking water. I sincerely appreciate this noble act. May this water project continue for many years to come. I pray from my heart that the water people drink here may bring blessings to all connected with Sirasa.
Thousands of devotees were present to listen to the Thurunusita Dhamma sermon conducted by Venerable Katnorwe Siridhamma Thero.
පුරුදු වෙන්න ඕන මේක පාපයක්ද මේක පිනක්ද මේක හරිද මේක වරදිද මේක කුසලයක් මේක අකුසලයක්ද කියන එක තීරණය කරන්න.
The Sirasa Namami Full Moon Poetry program concluded in the evening following the Gilan Pasa Puja. The Sambuddha Puja, conducted at the Shah Kemalakir, located opposite the head office of the Capital Maharaja Group, was held today. This religious practice is observed on every full moon poet day of the year. Today's Sambuddha Puja was organized with the contribution of Stein Studios, Ratmalana. The staff of the Department Broadcasting Centre also took part in religious observances at their premises today.
The second phase of the LOLC Divi Savia You, Me and Our Nation social welfare program continued today for its 29th consecutive day. The program was carried out centering on the Nurelia, Kurunagala and Mathale districts. This phase is implemented with the objective of renovating 200 schools that have been damaged by Cyclone Ditwa.
The renovated sections at St. Mary's College, Nuwara Elia and Madagama Primary School in the Kurunagala district, both of which were affected by disaster conditions, were handed over to the students today. Also, the renovated facilities at Tiragama Navodaya School in Kurunagala and Dikkumura College in Mathale were handed over to the students. Additionally, the renovated sections at Sujata Balika Vidyalaya and Shri Sarnankara Vidyalaya in Mathale were handed over to the students today. The construction work at the Baptist Primary School in Mathale was also concluded and was handed over to the students earlier this morning. The LOLC Divisavia You and Me Our Nation social welfare program is dedicated solely to the people of Sri Lanka.
Moving on to news overseas, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has warned that any attack would spark regional conflict as the US continues to build up its forces nearby.
Iran's Supreme Leader warned today that any attack by the United States would spark a regional war in the Middle East, further escalating tensions as US President Donald Trump has threatened to militarily strike the Islamic Republic over its crackdown on recent nationwide protests.
The comments from the 86-year-old Ayatollah Ali Khamenei are the most direct threat he has made so far as the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln and associated American warships are in the Arabian Sea, sent by Trump thereafter Tehran's bloody crackdown on nationwide protests. Khamenei spoke to a crowd at his compound in Tehran as Iran marked the start of a days-long commemoration of the country's 1979 Islamic Revolution. He at one point described the US as being interested in its oil, natural gas and other mineral resources, saying that they wanted to, quote-unquote, seize this country just as they controlled it before.
مسئله آمریکا و ایران چیه؟ این تقابلی که وجود داره 40 چند ساله ایران با آمریکا دشمنی دارن این مسئله چیه؟ به نظر من مسئله در 2 کلمه خلاصه میشه اون 2 کلمه هم این است که آمریکا میخواهد ایران را ببلعد ملت رشید ایران و جمهوری اسلامی مانعه
Trump earlier said Iran was in serious discussions and he hoped they would lead to something acceptable, while Iran's top security official also said a framework for negotiations was progressing. Trump has threatened to intervene in Iran over its nuclear ambitions and after its deadly crackdown on anti-government protests. Iran is expected to begin a 2-day live-fire naval exercise today in the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important shipping lanes and a key route for energy supplies.
Now, meanwhile, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi responded by saying, the US military is now attempting to dictate how Iran's powerful armed forces should conduct target practice in their own turf. Speaking to foreign media recently, Araghchi said, channels of communication with the US were open amid the ongoing unrest, but stressed that his country was prepared for all options.
The United States would intervene. We did not fire on the demonstrators, but those with malicious plans, and I believe they were directed from outside, had organized these plans abroad and implemented them through their agents inside the countries. They sought to increase the number of deaths in order to force the US president to intervene in these confrontations. Therefore, the objective was clear. They began firing at police and security forces and even at demonstrators. We are prepared for all options. If they want to test any option, including the diplomatic option, it must be under the conditions I mentioned. What matters is the extent to which a wise approach is adopted. Unfortunately, there are those who seek to drag the United States into war and endless wars in order to achieve Israel's interest. We must see to what extent the United States chooses to move along the path of wisdom.
Yesterday, 2 explosions in Iran heightened anxiety in the country. Local authorities said a blast that killed 1 and hurt 14 at a building in the southern port city of Bandar Abbas was caused by a gas leak. In the southwestern city of Ahvaz, at least 4 people were killed in another explosion, with local authorities again blaming a gas leak, according to Iran's Tehran Times.
The Speaker of Iran's parliament, meanwhile, said that the Islamic Republic now considers all European Union militaries to be terrorist groups, lashing out after the bloc declared the country's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard a terror group over taking part in the bloody crackdown.
Mohammad Bagher Khalibaf, a former Guard commander, announced the terror designation, which will likely be most symbolic. Iran has used a 2019 law to reciprocally declare other nations' militaries terror groups following the United States declaration of the Guard group that year.
Now, the US President Donald Trump has laid out 2 red lines for military action: the killing of peaceful protesters or the possible mass execution of those detained in a major crackdown over the demonstrations. He's increasingly begun discussing Iran's nuclear program as well, which the US negotiated over with Tehran in multiple sessions before Israel launched a 12-day war with Iran back in June.
Trump last night declined to say whether he had made a decision on what he wanted to do regarding Iran. Speaking to reporters as he flew to Florida, Trump sidestepped a question about whether Tehran would be emboldened if the US backed away from launching strikes on Iran.
Just an update on where your thinking is right now with Iran, if you have made a final decision on what you want to do.
I mean, I certainly can't tell you that, but we do have very big, powerful ships heading in that direction, as you know. I can't tell you, but I hope they negotiate something that's acceptable.
Trump said Iran should negotiate a satisfactory deal to prevent the Middle Eastern country from getting any nuclear weapons.
Also in news overseas, Israel will reopen the Rafah border between Gaza and Egypt on a trial basis after nearly 2 years, as thousands of sick and wounded Palestinians seek urgent medical care abroad.
The Rafah crossing between Gaza and Egypt will reopen after nearly 2 years, with critically ill Palestinians expected to be among the first allowed through. Before the war, the Rafah border crossing with Egypt was the only direct exit point for most Gazans to reach the outside world, as well as a key entry point for aid into the territory. It has been largely shut since May 2024 and under Israeli military control on the Gazan side. In one of the bloodiest days since an October ceasefire took hold, at least 31 Palestinians, including children, have been killed in multiple Israeli air raids on northern and southern Gaza. Despite widespread destruction in the enclave and economic losses exceeding $33 billion, many Palestinians say they have no intention of leaving permanently. They view staying as a matter of dignity and identity, refusing to let Israel's war force them into exile. Director General of Trump's Board of Peace in Gaza has urged the parties in Gaza to exercise restraint and uphold the ceasefire. He said in a social media post, quote, "I am deeply concerned by what has taken place since Friday. Hamas armed operatives emerging from a tunnel in Rafah, Israeli strikes that tragically also killed civilians." End quote.
Moving on to sports news now, Pakistan will boycott their game against India at the 2026 T20 World Cup. A post issued by the government of Pakistan's official X account said the government had granted permission to the Pakistan team to travel to Sri Lanka for the tournament.
Posting on X, Government of Pakistan said that the Pakistan cricket team shall not take the field in the match scheduled on the 15th of February 2026 against India. The statement did not specify a reason for that decision. Pakistan's participation or the extent of it at the T20 World Cup had been thrown into doubt by PCB chairman Mohsin Naqvi after Bangladesh were removed from the tournament on the 24th of January following their refusal to play in India due to security concerns. Pakistan was the only country vocally supportive of Bangladesh's request for alternate venue and reacted to their removal by accusing the ICC of double standards favouring India.
Two more matches of the Inter-Club League Rugby Tournament were held today.
The match between CHNFC and Kandy SC took place at the Colombo Racecourse ground. Buddhi Vikramanayaka, the Chief Operating Officer of MBC, attended the event as the chief guest. This Cup Championship encounter ended in 34-34 draw, with both teams finishing on level terms. CHNFC's score consisted of 5 tries, 3 conversions and 1 penalty. Meanwhile, Kandy SC secured their points through 4 tries, 4 conversions and 2 successful penalties. Under the Plate Championship category, the match between Army SC and Police SC was held at Panagoda. Police SC won the team 29-14. Their scoring tally included 5 tries and 2 conversions, while Army SC managed to secure 2 tries and 2 conversions. Sirasa TV and Yes 101 are the official media partners for the Inter-Club League Rugby Tournament.
Sri Lanka Air Force won the Women's A Division title at the 2026 EVA All-Island Open Netball Tournament. They secured the championship by defeating the Army team in the grand final.
The tournament was held over 2 days at the Colombo Air Force grounds. Krishanta Gunaratna, the marketing director of ICL Brands, attended today's proceedings as the chief guest. In the schools category, Hillwood College Kandy clinched the Under-15 championship. Malayadeva Balika Vidyalaya Kurunagala secured the Under-17 championship, and they also went on to claim the Under-19 championship title. The Track Masters team won the championship in the veterans category. The Division B championship of the tournament was won by the Jaffna North Star team. In the men's Division A category, United Sports Club emerged as the runners-up, while the Kegol Lions clinched the championship. The women's Division A runners-up title went to the Army team. Once again, the Sri Lanka Air Force team won the women's Division A championship. Adisha Uthum of the Kegol Lions team was crowned the netball king. El Rashmi Pereira of the Sri Lanka Air Force was crowned the netball queen.
On Happy Headlines tonight, we bring you a graceful moment of rhythm and tradition from Nutya Shri 2026.
Happy Headlines.
Choreographed and directed by Dr. Amali Pereira, Nrutya Shri 2026 celebrated Indian dance traditions mixed with Indian culture, rich in movement. The event featured classical and folk dance performances inspired by devotion, mythology and nature, including Bharatanatyam and Manipuri compositions. Nrutya Shri was presented as a tribute to tradition, creativity and storytelling through movement.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.